Yo, crypto fam, Bitcoin Bulletin is live and we're kicking things off with a bang. Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the news that's shaking up the digital asset world. First up, Bitcoin is holding strong above $114,000, but is it a bull trap or the start of something bigger? We've got the latest market data and analyst warnings you need to hear. Then, we're blasting off to Mars with engineers proposing a mind-blowing method for sending Bitcoin across the solar system. Researchers Jose Puente and Carlos Puente have unveiled proof-of-transit timestamping, a concept that could make Bitcoin the first interplanetary currency. Could your crypto make it to the red planet? We'll dive deep into that. Next, we're asking the million-dollar question. Could buying Bitcoin today actually set you up for life? We'll break down the scarcity, the halving cycles, and the dollar-cost averaging strategies that could build your long-term wealth. We've got the strategies you need to know. And finally, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin are all leading a massive market surge. What's driving this crypto explosion? We're talking cooling inflation data, Fed rate cut optimism, and key technical indicators pointing to major moves. Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Bitcoin holds strong above $114,000 amid bull trap fears. Bitcoin is showing remarkable resilience, currently trading just above the critical $114,000 mark. While this stability might seem encouraging, market analysts are sounding alarms about a potential bull trap, a scenario where a price rise is quickly followed by a sharp decline. This caution comes as U.S. inflation data, specifically the August Producer Price Index, PPI, unexpectedly cooled to 2.6% year-over-year, below the forecasted 3.3%. This development has fueled optimism that the Federal Reserve might consider easing interest rates sooner rather than later, a prospect that has historically boosted digital assets. The broader crypto market is a mixed bag, with Ethereum seeing a modest gain near $4,348 and Solana surging past $220, potentially boosted by the recent Linea airdrop. Avalanche is also posting significant gains, climbing over 10% on increased trading volume. Even meme coins like Dogecoin are experiencing a healthy 4.2% rise, driven by social media buzz, while Bitcoin Cash shows renewed investor interest. However, Shiba Inu remains steady despite a dip in trading volume. The price action is happening against a backdrop of key macroeconomic factors. Bitcoin's fixed supply of 21 million coins, coupled with the reduced block reward from the April 2024 halving, creates inherent scarcity. This supply dynamic, combined with increasing institutional adoption and the ongoing regulatory landscape, keeps the market on edge. The cooling inflation data is a significant catalyst, as it suggests a potential shift in monetary policy that could favor risk assets like cryptocurrencies. Market participants are watching closely, with daily trading volumes for Bitcoin around $56 billion indicating sustained liquidity. The performance of altcoins like Solana and Avalanche highlights growing interest in diverse blockchain technologies. However, the ever-present volatility and regulatory uncertainties mean that investors must remain vigilant and practice prudent risk management. Will this inflation data truly usher in a new era of crypto gains, or are we still heading for a correction? Stay tuned as we break down the technicals and uncover what's next for Bitcoin and the entire market. Bitcoin to Mars. Engineers propose interplanetary transfer method. Imagine sending Bitcoin to a friend on Mars by the year 2050. Researchers Jose Puente and Carlos Puente have just published a white paper detailing a groundbreaking concept called proof-of-transit timestamping, POTT, which could make this futuristic scenario a reality, potentially enabling the transfer of Bitcoin to the red planet in as little as 3 minutes. This innovative POTT system would leverage existing and future communication infrastructure, including NASA's optical channels and Elon Musk's Starlink satellites, to track interplanetary transactions. Each transfer would pass through ground antennas, satellites, and lunar relays, receiving timestamps at every stage, much like a passport at border control. This timestamping mechanism ensures the accurate tracking of the message's journey and confirms its arrival, functioning as a confirmation layer for digital gold networks and the Lightning Network. The concept is described as ready for implementation, provided stable communication links between Earth and Mars are established. The researchers even propose using orbiting satellite relays to overcome the challenges posed by 2-week-long eclipse periods. This development builds upon previous efforts in space-based Bitcoin transactions, such as Blockstream's satellite network launched in 2018, which has been beaming Bitcoin blocks and data globally. In 2020, SpaceJane transferred digital gold from the International Space Station, and astronaut Chris Hadfield famously received his first Bitcoins from orbit. While the technical hurdles are being addressed, the idea of interplanetary crypto is gaining traction. Billionaire Elon Musk himself suggested cryptocurrencies as a currency for Mars back in January last year. Even terrestrial space ventures are embracing digital assets, with Blue Origin recently beginning to accept payments in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, USDT, and USDC for their suborbital flights. Could Bitcoin truly become the currency of the cosmos? We'll explore the feasibility and the implications of this incredible interplanetary vision, and then we'll tackle the question on every investor's mind. Can buying Bitcoin today set you up for life? Buying Bitcoin today, your path to financial freedom. Is it possible that purchasing Bitcoin right now could pave the way for a financially secure future? The short answer is a resounding yes, provided you approach it as a strategic pillar of wealth building rather than a get-rich-quick scheme. Understanding Bitcoin's unique supply mechanics and adopting a disciplined investment strategy are key. With a hard cap of 21 million coins and approximately 20 million already in circulation, Bitcoin's scarcity is a fundamental driver of its value. The halving events, like the one in April 2024, which reduced daily new issuance to around 450 coins, significantly tightened the available supply. This reduced supply, especially when contrasted with growing institutional demand from ETFs and asset managers, creates an inherent upward bias in its long-term price trajectory. A $1,000 investment a decade ago, for instance, would now be worth over $468,000, underscoring its historical performance. However, Bitcoin's journey has not been without extreme volatility. Investors must be prepared for significant drawdowns, with historical declines often exceeding 50% and sometimes reaching around 80%. The key to navigating these turbulent periods lies in patience and a solid strategy. Rather than trying to time the market, dollar-cost averaging, investing a fixed amount regularly, regardless of price, is the most effective approach. This strategy turns volatility into an advantage, allowing you to buy more when prices are low. Even a modest weekly investment of $100, sustained over years, can compound significantly. Time in the market is crucial, as Bitcoin's adoption and issuance cycles unfold over years. The 4-year halving schedule historically tightens supply and supports bull runs. A long-term perspective, ideally a 10-year horizon for accumulation, allows this thesis to play out. Furthermore, position sizing is vital, allocating a modest portion, typically 1% to 5%, within a diversified portfolio can yield substantial long-term growth without exposing you to unmanageable risk. So, can you truly build life-changing wealth with Bitcoin? We've laid out the strategy, and now, get ready for the market's biggest movers as XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin lead a massive crypto surge. Find out why next. Crypto market explodes. XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin lead surge on cooling inflation. The cryptocurrency market is currently experiencing a powerful surge, with Bitcoin breaking above $114,000, Ethereum climbing to $4,400, XRP piercing the $3 mark, and Dogecoin leading the pack with a 5% jump to 25 cents. This widespread rally is largely attributed to the latest U.S. Producer Price Index, PPI, data, which showed inflation cooling significantly to 2.6% year-over-year, falling short of the 3.3% expectation. This dovish inflation report has significantly boosted market confidence that the Federal Reserve will likely cut interest rates at its upcoming September meeting, with traders now pricing in a 93.7% probability of a 25 basis point reduction. Such a move creates a more favorable environment for risk assets, including cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin's immediate response saw it surpass $114,000, reinforcing its narrative as a hedge against monetary debasement, especially as its own inflation rate is considerably lower than the US dollar's. Technically, Bitcoin is showing strong momentum with a MACD golden cross formation on the daily chart, a signal that historically preceded significant rallies. Analysts suggest a potential move towards $160,000 if past patterns repeat, with strong support at $112,000. Ethereum is consolidating within an ascending channel, supported by substantial institutional accumulation exceeding $2 billion and its dominance in blockchain settlement. XRP's breakthrough above $3 was fueled by heavy institutional volume and positive regulatory developments in Europe, with potential targets around $3.60. Dogecoin, the day's top performer, is rallying on anticipation of its upcoming ETH launch and significant whale accumulation, eyeing July highs near 28 cents. Today's rally is further bolstered by strong trading volumes and significant inflows into Bitcoin ETFs, totaling $757 million, the highest since July. Ethereum ETFs also saw inflows, reversing recent outflows. The total crypto market capitalization is approaching $4 trillion, with altcoins showing signs of catching up to Bitcoin's dominance, potentially signaling the start of an altcoin season. This risk-on sentiment is reinforced by downward revisions to U.S. job growth, further strengthening the case for Fed easing and improving liquidity conditions for digital assets. Market participants are now eagerly awaiting Thursday's Consumer Price Index, CPI data, which could provide another catalyst. Will these gains hold, or are there hidden headwinds? We'll wrap up today's top stories and give you the full picture in our lightning round recap right after this. And that's a wrap for today's Bitcoin Bulletin. We saw Bitcoin hold strong above $114,000, but watch out for those bull trap warnings. Engineers are proposing sending Bitcoin to Mars, potentially making it the first interplanetary currency. We explored if buying Bitcoin today could set you up for life with smart strategies like dollar-cost averaging. And finally, a massive crypto rally led by Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Dogecoin was sparked by cooling inflation and Fed rate cut optimism. Don't miss out on any of the action. If you found this update valuable, please smash that like button, subscribe to Bitcoin Bulletin for all your crypto news needs, and ring that notification bell so you're always the first to know. Follow us on all our social media channels for more insights and join the conversation in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.